Alex, I guess stepping in here on short notice. I mean, we're not expecting to see you this week. So how did this all come together?
Man, so after the last one, I was telling my manager and coach, House and Mark, I don't want to build this shit up anymore. I don't want to do another 14, 15 week long camp like I've been doing my last couple of fights. I don't want to spend half the year thinking about this one moment. And it's never become more evident to me than now that this is not a physical issue. It's a mental issue. And so mentally, I'm really enthusiastic. I'm angry at myself. I want to get redemption. And I'm ready. I'm truly fired up. I'm excited. And so the weight cut's simple for 55 now because I've got more of on my way to a 45 frame. I was kind of getting ready to do that again. So when I was talking to the two of them about what's kind of on the horizon, because I wanted to slide in on something shorter notice, ideally the Apex, because I got done with that and I was like, dude, I just want to go I don't want to tell anybody about it. I just want to go into a cellar and just go work this shit out. Just go battle out 2-3 fights, get my mojo, go back mainstream. And, the Apex, the opponent, the timeline, everything just fit the bill. And so we jumped on it.
That's awesome. It's crazy what a mental game this is. So as far as you realizing that, was it your mentality during that whole build-up, or is it just you built up the moment so big in your head that it overwhelmed you?
Yeah, I guess a little bit all the above, the build-up to the fight there in the moment. And, I'm just a master of sabotage sometimes in those moments. I'm having these awful dialogues with myself. And so I've really been working on that and just being unconscious, getting back to that flow state, for lack of anything else. And then kind of finding my rhythm there, because when I'm there, I'm sick with it. And even when I'm not, I am till I'm not. But the problem is when I'm not, when I'm being too conscious about everything, I'm kind of slowly drowning myself. And so I start to fatigue physically, mentally, I get in my way. And I just want to cut all that shit out. So this is no time to think about. Let's just go pull the trigger. And a super game fun opponent in Miller.
Yeah, you mentioned Jim as an opponent. Is it the fact that he's been around and the guy's a legend of the game, or is it his style that most appeals to you? What is it that you said? Yeah, the opponent's right.
Yeah, a large part. He's going to be dense. He's going to be bigger than me. I think it'll probably be one of the more notable looks I've had where I look small. Fucking Moicano was Andre the Giant, but this dude, he's not he's not one of these guys who are a massive, overwhelming 55 based on their frame. He does have the density. He is going to be bigger. But again, it's not like a Makhachev or something where I'm he's got a good frame, height, build, and this strength where he's a struggle to get down to 55. He might be because of his age, but he's not an overwhelming 55 presence in the sense of just size. You know what I'm saying? And so that was a good ticker. And then otherwise, he was just available.
Yeah. 55, is that, given that you're going to try to take these things and not build, is 55 the future, or was 45 still a thought?
It depends. I want to stay healthy with this fight, obviously. I want to see it through my way no matter what. I'm getting my hand raised on Saturday. And I'd like to, assuming I got a clean bill of health, keep making my way back down to 45. If something tasty pops up at 55 on the way there, I'll be ready to accommodate. But I am trying to make my way into 45.
Last thing for me, I guess, you kind of openly admitting, the struggles or whatever. I guess, how are you looking at this fight? Is it I gotta win this thing, this is imperative, or is it more just feeling right out there and feeling good? What are you looking at this?
This fight's entirely my tempo. It's my decision, and I'm not looking at it like a make or break fight at all. I just know that if I keep my tempo, my state, everything's on my time, I don't lose this fight. But no, I'm not putting any additional pressure on it at all.
Alex, now that the cut to 45 is done, to featherweight is done, how was that cut? Because, dude, you're a very muscular fellow.
It was serious. It was the most locked in and focused I'd ever been for those. We got a 14-week notice, but the diet really hardcore for about 10 weeks. I mean, really, I mean, the entire time dieting, but man, a whole nother level of dieting for 10, 11 weeks. We're generally at 55. It would only take maybe 5, you know. It was intense. And so a lot of it, a lot of that, like I had an extremely I was very underwhelmed with the idea of fighting. Like I had like a real lackluster feel towards like getting into the cage, and I think a lot of it was maybe just being, man, too stressed with it, almost too focused for too long, you know. And then by the time I got there, I was like, oh shit, I gotta go do this thing, and like inadvertently, I kind of built this question up, and then when I got there, the last thing I asked myself when I was going out is why am I even doing this? And that's not a cool place to be when you're about to make the walk to the cage. And so I had to get that back, and that took some tough conversations, a lot of just internal dialogue, reflection, yada yada, you know, whatever the hell. But coming to that point to where I got my why, I got my fire, and I know why I'm doing this. And so yeah, the 45 was a drain, but I don't think I need to make it like that every time, because I did, in fact, change my shape a bit. I'm not nearly as thick as I was before. I mean, this cut already is super easy, you know.
Can you share kind of like what the diet was? Because I mean, it's insane.
Yeah, no, I mean, I got some of the best nutritionists in the world, Perfecting Athletes, the group I go with, and it's not like I wasn't eating. It was just small, man. Like it was rough. I mean, it was the roughest, and it wasn't like I was just like moaning every day, but I was super locked in. But dude, you know, my dick didn't work in the mornings. You know, like nothing was up. I was like, I was pure. I mean, I was just gender X moving through for, you know, 3 months, just on forward, just dead forward path. And yeah, dude, doing that for enough time probably weighs on the brain a little bit. So yeah, I mean, it was tough. Everything was low. Everything was depleted. And I, you know, I felt strong though. I felt fast. I felt faster than I've ever felt. My conditioning during the camp was fantastic. I just needed to keep the mental game right. I needed to remember why I was doing all this pain and struggling for, and not let myself get too burnt out in the process of camp and not be mentally ready to fire on the fight night.
So with all that being said, man, you know, like, is it to the point where like you're going to be focusing more on the weight cut more than the opponent nowadays, like trying to go back?
Yeah, so I do want to avoid that, and I don't think that's going to be a problem, because even when I went on my, you know, quiet bender after the fight of, you know, woe is me, dude, even then my weight didn't blow up like it would have at 55. And again, when I started dieting, I'm getting ready for this fight, my weight's moving really, really quickly. And I could see a physical difference where I'm a lot faster than I was, but I do have a smaller frame than I did.
Thanks, man.